Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure.
I got you. Let it rap real quick. Look.
The city eyes, it's time to vote God. My God, a real nigga, cause he wasn't no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure, got that shot in the closet by the mob ball. Fuck what they heard, but tell them it's all true. Be cautious, that foundation falls till you fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit 50 times two. Ain't no more heart in this game, I'm John Q. Colder than the avalanche, way above average. Fierce taste sweet, told him make me an apple tree. Left us in the valley full of bones, this where hope found. Java, come on, man. Dark sands get broke down. Riding through Evans to a mall quad. Telling me how them crackers turn his childhood to a ghost town. Focus out, nigga, I lay that game down. I feel his pain, cause nothing is the same now. Never light shine like heaven through a rain cloud. Glock have a fit like my child, no tangent. Try to warn them niggas we bear arms like tarantulas. Them other niggas rap, I make anthems. I really seen prophets under this banner. Made my enemies bow down on camera. Told my design I wanted black and white like a panda. I'm better than that nigga that sunk dirty to handle. Look, I move like a Brazilian, precious cargo. Spirit ancient, but I got a new semi-auto. Wave that bitch around like where's Waldo. Sleep if they won't, I cut through they Z's like I'm Zorro. Pay me for his name, so I gotta keep that steel clutch. Trust me, I'm not what you think. I squeeze till it click like Dorothy when the heels touch. The world got me dumb, I don't feel much. Ride around with Yaradon, just left the state bridge. Looking for a bitch better than Baby's kid. Remember I dropped Quiet Storm, I've been gone ever since. Still in the field, fuck them niggas on the fence,
Shalom. We're back here on another Friday night at the headquarters of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge to get into this Hebrew. Clap it up for all that. We're up here in Harlem, where we've been since 1969, teaching our people the truth of these scriptures, that these scriptures prove that the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true children of Israel. And this is our culture. This Hebrew is how we take back our culture, is how we dive deeper, is how we separate from the bastard languages that the white man has given us, has forced upon us. And in order to do that, in order to dive in, you have to have, a solid base, a solid foundation of understanding these two alphabets, the ancient script and the Assyrian script that we adopted in captivity, but is what our scriptures are preserved in to this day. And if you know both of these, then you have a good base, a good foundation, and everything else starts to flow. And so, the trooper Lashawan wrote these up there real quick. This brother's been working hard learning, and anybody out there that's watching can learn these quickly. I say this every week. Don't be intimidated. It might look hard, but all you got to do is take out a sheet. If you need a sheet, drop a comment in the chat. We'll get you one. Write them over and over. Say the sounds out loud. It'll be second nature before you know it. And so anybody who's who's not caught up, let us know. We'll get you a sheet. But other than that, we're about to dive in. As we've been doing lately, and we've been stressing lately the importance of the connection between the Hebrew class on Friday night and the Sabbath service on Saturday morning. We learn it here, we apply it tomorrow morning when we read these scriptures and go over our ancient culture. And we've been going through lately the story of Joseph. And we've been following this epic, dramatic story of Joseph's travels. Joseph, being sold off by his brothers and ended up being carried away to Egypt, finding himself in a high position in Egypt, basically ruling over the entire land. Eventually, his family came back to him, didn't recognize him at first because Joseph was a dark-skinned individual, just like the rest of the Egyptians. But eventually, they revealed each other and reunited, and we're at the point right now where they sent back for his father Jacob to bring everything, and they were going to get set up in the land of Egypt. And so we're going to go through some of these scriptures in the Hebrew. Come on up. And have the brother write some of these scriptures down, and then we're going to start breaking them down. Start with Genesis 47 and verse 5. As we go in, this is verse 5, right? And so Genesis 47 and 5 in English is, and Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, saying, Thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee. And verse 6, the land of Egypt is before thee. In the best of the land make thy father and brethren to dwell. In the land of Goshen let them dwell. And if thou knowest any men of activity among them, make them rulers over my cattle. So now Joseph at this point has brought his family in front of Pharaoh, which for a long time he didn't even have to do because Joseph had command, had control over everything. And he finally brought his family to Pharaoh and was saying, hey, this is my family. We're going to set them up. And Pharaoh's like, yeah, because Pharaoh had so much respect for Joseph. He said, yeah, set your family up in the best of the land. I'll give them all positions, whatever they need, they got. That question? On the verse. Oh, this is Genesis chapter 47 and verse 5.
Face the wall. Don't do that again. You do that again. Face the wall. Sit up.
And so if we start up here, remembering that everything in Hebrew is based on the root word. And we build outward from the root word, which will be a 2 or 3 letter word. In front of it, we'll have letters that might represent a preposition, like this letter Y here is and. At the end of it, we may have a letter that represents a possessive. In the middle, we may have letters that change the tense, change the form of the word, but all of it will be based on these root words. And so if we build our vocabulary on that, we'll be able to fill in a lot of context. Is this the entire verse 5? Right, something to identify. Right? We know what Genesis is called in Hebrew, right? Do you remember off the top of our head?
I'm looking at it.
So in the first 5 books of the Bible, the Torah, the names of the books in Hebrew are based on the first words of the book. And so Genesis is called in the Hebrew Barashia, which means in the beginning. Ra'ash is the beginning or the head or the first. Ba is, as we just talked about prepositions, Ba is a preposition meaning in. So Barashiath is in the beginning. So this would be Right in the Indian circle. And so let's start breaking this down. This Waya Amar, right at the beginning of the verse, is a good word to get used to. You're going to see it many, many times in the scriptures. This is and spoke. And it's and spoke referring to a person. The person is going to be identified right here. This is Parai, which is Pharaoh. Waya Amar. Amar is to speak. We get a better market. Parai is Pharaoh. Al Yawasap to Joseph. So Wayamar Parai Al Yawasap and said Pharaoh to Joseph. La'amar Abiaka. Do we recognize anything in there? These next two words.
Joseph saying, your father.
Right, because Abba is your father, right? And Abiaka, we talked about letters at the end of a word that will represent a possessive. This is your father. Abiaka. We just saw this word Amar, right? This is to say, speak. Well, Akika, what do we recognize here? Which is?
Brother.
Ak is brother. So now, what else can we, how else can we break down this word here?
And
Wise and what else?
Nakah is your.
Nakah is your. So to your father and to your brothers, because that's pluralized right there. We know that the young would pluralize, but then when we're going to see this possessive also at the end, that ma might be dropped off sometimes. So wa akyaka, and to your brothers. Ba'awa, do we recognize this word?
Come.
Ba'a is to come. And what about this last one?
To you.
To you, aliyaka, to you. Unto you. Unto you. And so let's read this in the English again. Chapter 47 and 5 in English. And Pharaoh spake unto Joseph. And that's his first part here. Wayamar Parai al Yosap. And Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, saying, La'amar, thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee. Abiaka, your father, Wa'akika, and your brethren, Ba'awa Aliyaka, are come unto thee. And that's that verse, and that's how simple and straightforward it is to break down that verse. Wa'yamar Parai Aliyosap, Wa'amar Aliyaka, Wa'akika, Ba'awa Aliyaka. Let's keep going to verse 6.
This is pronounced Parai.
You don't have I.
Oh, so you do say I.
Yeah. Yeah, you just kind of flow into it.
Verse 6.
Verse 6. Actually, let's jump down to verse 8. Let's keep them short and simple. And let's keep going over these basic words. Verse 7 and 8, right? 7 and 8 together. And 7 and 8 in the English. And Joseph brought in Jacob his father, and set him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Jacob, how old art thou? And so now they're talking. Pharaoh's welcoming in his family. That he's getting ready to set them up with whatever they need, because the Lord set it up for the Egyptians to show respect and honor to us. Remember, when this Pharaoh at this time looked at Joseph, he looked at him as the guy that saved Egypt, which he was, because the Lord was with him. And so he was glad to welcome his family or whatever. And of course, fast forward, and we're going to end up in a point in the story soon where there's another Pharaoh that forgot all this. But at this time, they had great respect towards the family in the house of Israel. And shalom to the brothers in the chat. Shalom to young man George in Jersey City. Shout out to Jersey City and all of Jersey. So now this word at the beginning of this verse, Wayaba'ah. We just saw this word in the last verse we broke down, right? The root word here, Ba'ah, is to come or to bring in. And so Wayaba'ah is and brought in. And remember, it's going to identify the subject next, which is going to be Yahusap right here. This is Joseph. And so we have Wayaba'ah, Yahusap. This Ba'ah is to bring in or to come. Yahusap, of course, is Joseph's name in the Hebrew. Af, this word here, af, is a word without an equivalent in English, but this connects the subject to the verb. And so we're going to see here, Wayaba'ah, Yahusap, af, Yaikwa, which is Jacob's name in the Hebrew. Abua, which means, of course, your Abba is your father. Abua is his father. Why I'm Imadawa. Now, this is a long word, but again, these long words can always be broken down into a 2 or 3 letter root word, which is right here, Imad. Imad is to stand. And so it's saying that he was brought to stand before Pharaoh, or Punya, which is another word that you can see very, very often. This is, in our language, when you're before somebody, you're in their face. And so Punya, to his face. Again, Pariah is Pharaoh. Wayabarad. Wayabarak, which is, of course, and he blessed. Barak is blessed. Barak, and he blessed Yaquab. Jacob in the Hebrew, Parai, which is saying that Jacob blessed, this blessing of Jacob went to Pharaoh. So to run that down again real quick, verse 7 in the English, and Joseph brought in Jacob his father, and brought in Yasap Yaquab Abu, Jacob his father, and set him before Pharaoh, Amadawa, and stood him, Lapunya, before or in the face of Pariah Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh, Barak Yaquab Pariah. Continue. And then verse 8, which is also short, it says in English, and Pharaoh said unto Jacob, how old art thou? So this verse is going to begin with what we just pointed out a few minutes ago as a very, very common way for a verse to begin. Mar Pariah al Yaquab. And Pharaoh said unto Jacob, Amar, which is speak, Pariah al Yaquab. Amar Pariah al Yaquab. And Pharaoh said unto Jacob. And so now we find out how to ask somebody how old you are in Hebrew. Kama, Yamya, Shunya, Chayayika, which is, let's break this down bit by bit. Ma is how you say what? Yomya are days. Based on the word Yawam, which you should know is a common word at this point.
English a little bit.
And Shunya is years. This is something that we were going over a lot a few months ago when we started out in the early chapters of Genesis and went over everybody's ages. Shunya years, and
I think it's Shana. Shana itself. Year. Right. Let's do it.
count. And over here, the root word here is kaya, which is life. So kayayika is your life. What are the days and years of your life? And that is how Pharaoh asked Jacob, how old are you? Verse 9.
Oh.
You want to do it?
What
Verse 9 is long.
You can right at the top. Verse 9, I'll take the whole words. Yeah, I mean, what I do is you can get the main point of scripture, not write the whole thing. I mean, it's more convenient that way.
You make it work. Let's go into verse 9. Now, verse 9 starts out with what we just said. It's very common. Now it's the third time we've seen it in the last couple of verses. Wayamar Yaquab al Parai. Simple. And Jacob said unto Pharaoh. So let's slide this in up here. Wayamar Yaquab al Parai. And Jacob said unto Pharaoh. Yom Shunya, the days of the years. Is that phrase again? Maga warrior, which is of, in English, this is of my pilgrimage. The Strong's breaks this down as a dwelling, a sojourning, and so Jacob broke down his life as a pilgrimage, which is heavy right there. Shalashim, which is 30. We're not done, because watch this. This is the way we break down numbers in the Hebrew. Shalashim, we start out with this part, the 30 part, while ma'at, which is to say, and 100.
Yeah, that's right. Shana is here.
And that's what we got right here. Shana, 30 and 100 years. Ma'at warai, which is to say few and evil. Rai is evil. Rayum is evils and evils plural. Ma'at is few. Ma'at warai.
Little.
Ma'at.
The translation, they try to get specific in the translation, but in Hebrew, it will be like one thing, like saying, really like saying many. You know what I mean? It's like in proper English,
Right.
to say little evil, not proper English. So you might say fewer evil or less evil. You know what I mean? In English.
And I think wouldn't the few here be referring to is the years?
Yeah.
So Ma'at warayum.
But what I was saying is, like, view is more to do with like numbers.
Okay.
Right? But I don't think the word might is isolated to numbers. But I might gotta check.
That's what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Count.
I think might be more like size. Okay. Give it a check. What's the concordance code on it?
It's H4592. Because we check everything here in the ISUPK, not like your teachers out there. Right? Orion, Hayawa, which is to say, have been. This is based on the word Haya, which is to be. Yom Ya, we just talked about being days. Shania is now, remember, this is how we're saying the days of the years. Chayaya, which is of my life. That ya at the end is my, so Chayaya.
Okay. It means little. My, okay, my is tough. No more ice cream, but the proper translation for that is little. Okay. So you have things that a little matter. If it's a small thing, that's where it comes up in other places.
So you say that Jacob was saying like my life has been small and
Yeah, we didn't English one time. I will show.
this. So this verse in English, Genesis 47:9, and Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been.
So few and little is in that sense is the same thing. But I just didn't want us to get hooked up to say this thing means few, and then we see a small matter, and we start counting matters. So it's just saying it's not a big thing, it's a small thing. So just to put in the mindset that this thing is little. You know what I mean? But then the context commands you how to always press on context. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Now this next portion shall be, and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life. So this word here, Washayagwa, is based on the root word Nasai, which is to attain. So like in the Shah. Of course, while ah is and not, that ah we use for no, this also negates something. So and not, Yagwa, they have attained Af Yomya Shania Chayaya. That same phrasing that we just saw, the days of the years of my life. Yomya Shania Chayaya. Same thing. The days Yomya of the years Shania of my life. Chayaya. And then this last portion of the verse, of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. And so now we have Abathia. This Abba, of course, his father. We know that anywhere we see it. By Yumya, in the days. Maga warrior hum. We just saw that word. Let's find it. Maga warrior up here earlier in the verse. And we broke this down as my sojourning, or in English they translated it as my pilgrimage. So now it's saying the days of the years of my life, of the life of my fathers, in the days by Yumya of their pilgrimage. Maga warrior hum. And that's verse 9. Did you want to do something with this?
Yes. Clap it up. I saw it up. We're in great stages of our advancement, man. You know what I mean? What is this? I don't even know what this is. It's another language on the board here. Okay. So I did look up the ite, right? In the King James Version, this ite right here, right? Ite. Right? This is the word to say pen. Okay? And the idea that the concordance is saying is this word originally was the stroke of a pen. All right? Stroke of a pen. And then this word comes up as pen in the Bible. It comes up as a pen. They're saying the word is rooted in the stroke of a pen. So we have the ma, right? Ma, we know what a ma is the beginning of a word, right? As a preposition. Ma is, I mean, it's more focused on the board still, you know what I mean? You want to move this.
Yeah. The board is perfectly centered. You're just barely out.
I'm just barely out of it. So put a balance between me and the board, if you could, right? So we'll do it like that. Okay, that's fine. Right? Okay, right. So ma is to say of, which is the same thing as saying from, right? They look at something that is from a pen, the idea is that it is small, right? So that gives us an insight on what the word is. Now, being that we know what the word is, right? And we've seen it, I saw y'all brought it up, and now we're familiar with it. Now we'll be able to use it. So now, if one day I saw y'all that says Nathania Akkad ite, then we know that he was a pen. That's the most side that brings these things up. You know what I mean? When two or more gathered in my name, there I am. You know what I mean? Okay? Good. I wanted to focus on this one too. This is a nice one down here too, right? I saw I went over it, right? This one right here is very key, right? The ka at the front of a word, right? Ka. This is the Hebrew way of saying like. Like as in a simile. Right? To say we did it like this or is like that. Ka and ma, which is the what that I saw you had on the board, right? Ka ma together is how we say how. This thing together. Right? Ka ma is how is that will be our equivalent of how we say how. Very important if you want to put a question together. What you saying? My question is like that.
Bed in Spanish.
Huh?
Bed in Spanish.
Say it again.
It's bed in Spanish. Cama is bed.
Bed?
Bed.
Bed.
Yeah, the bed, the house.
Oh, bed? Okay, but that's kind of off the
No,
subject.
I'm saying that, maybe, when we like
In Spanish?
In the world, maybe we just took the words out of the
Oh,
spirit and used it in the slavery. We just utilized the edit.
I'm gonna tell you something different. Yeah. Kama. Hold on. Kama. Right? Is call mo.
Okay, yeah, no, okay, I see. Got it.
How? ¿Cómo estás? How are you? Right? ¿Cómo te llamo? What's cómo te llamo? So how? What's your name? What's that?
Like, you mean, ¿cómo se llama? ¿Cómo?
Como, they say, ¿cómo te llamo? What's that? ¿Cómo te llamo?
Literally, how are you called?
How are you called? Okay. Got it. That's that.
Right.
Captain Usher Parliament to always push on the things in Spanish that are from Hebrew. Right? Because the Israelites was in Spain before that John Muhammad wrote down last night, before the Renaissance, when white supremacy came back into power. All through Europe, you'll find little influences from Hebrew, and they will act like it's not there. You know what I mean? They'll act like we don't know what we're talking about, and this is all from Latin. Hebrew influenced Latin because Hebrew Israelites influence anything they go into. See what I'm saying? Okay. Good. I'll take a picture of that right there. That's great. Yeah. Right. Bear me 1 second. You know, any questions? George from Jersey City, man. You gotta come to New York. You are one pass train away. You know what I mean? You know, you gotta come home, all right? Home of the truth. Okay, have a seat over there, right?
Daddy, it's your turn.
Yes, it's my turn. Okay, good. We got the yum, right? I saw y'all broke down the days, right? Just so we understand, we bring this out all the time. Yum initially is the seed. Okay, I believe yum is supposed to be day by itself. No, well, yum is day by itself. Okay, so see, the sun sets in the sea from where we were at. So we in the Middle East, the land of Israel. We're on the land, and to the west of us was always the sea. It also became the word for west because the sea was always in the west. Okay? So the sun will always go up in the sky and down into the sea. Right? That's how we know the end of the day. The end of the day. Okay? So when we see the sun keep doing that, we say, we turn this into Yawam, right? Yawam, the what is like an ing, in the sense of an ing in Hebrew, right? That became the main word for day. All right? Because something that the sea is doing. The sea is taking the sun, doing it. Something that it's doing. Okay? So we're a very visual people. Captain Zark will always say we are a very visual people. And the Hebrew, building of the Hebrew is based on what you see. Where you can see where you identify things, and we took a stroke of a pen, and now we say, man, it's only a jot of water that's on the paper. Don't cry, it's only a jot of water. What is a jot? It's a little dot of a pen. All right? Okay? We got the Shana. Okay? The Shana is, what's this again? Waya Ba'a. And he come, Joseph, right? He brought in. And he brought in, right? Okay, so of course, Hebrew, right, is a very Negro Latino language. So he's saying he brought in, right? What did he bring in? Farah. Say again. He brought in Yaquab, right? His father, and he stood. He was standing somewhere
Concept in English, it's
before Pharaoh, right? Okay. I just want to get the I saw y'all said. The strategy is to always recognize the roots, right? So very, very important. These roots are the same roots that's going to come up everywhere, right? That Ba'a right here, right? Ba'a is to say come. All right. Okay. So however we talk back then, however your family might talk down south or in your broken Spanish, right? That sense means to bring this thing, right? Make it come, right? We got the wa, we did the wa already. I saw about the wa, the preposition is and. The ya is a he or it. So I guess that he brought Joseph, Yaquab. Okay. Okay. Joseph's name is rooted in I believe it's Yasap, right? Yasap means to add. The wa and they say adding. All right, so that's Joseph's name. Joseph's name is adding, right? Yes. Okay. So water, have a seat. Oh, you stop again. You're gonna face the wall. Put your hand on your head. All right. The iquab means something too. The iquab means iquab is heal. All right. I'm gonna erase this right here. Bara Ashka was the word for Genesis, right? Book of Genesis, right? Okay.
Brother George said, right now I can only attend the Sabbath service because my slavery is evening.
Slavery is evening. Okay. But for sure, if you found out that Christ said that the UPK is going to be your new family, straight up. Let me get one of them family scriptures. Does anybody know? You get the one where Christ said, God, absolutely. You know what I mean? Right.
Matthew,
Nice and loud.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 48, or verse 47. Then one said unto him, Behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without.
This is Jesus Christ, Yahushua in the Hebrew, right? His disciples saw Yahushua's mother, Jesus Christ's mother, standing on the outside. His mother and who?
And his brethren.
And his brother. Keep reading.
Stood without, desiring to speak with him.
He stood without, meaning the opposite of within. So this without, we don't talk like this today, right? But without, in this sense, means outside. Okay? Keep reading.
Then one said unto him, Behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with
They
thee.
don't want to talk to Yahushua. Read.
But he answered and said unto him that told him,
They're saying his relatives want to speak to him outside the camp. Read.
Who is my mother?
Christ said, who is my mother? Keep reading.
And who are my brethren?
And who's my brothers? Read.
And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, Behold my mother and my brethren.
That's what your job is. Your job is to be just like Christ. To follow in what do Christians say? They're supposed to follow in the footsteps of Christ. If Christians want to follow into the footsteps of Christ, they have to come into the Isupk and leave the church.
Right.
Because the people in church are not like Christ. In here, we put on the culture of Christ, and wear headpieces and mitres and garments, and studs and fringes. You see what I'm saying? That's what the real family of Christ does. So now you in Jersey City, and you realize, oh my gosh, my true family in the spirit of Christ is in Harlem. You have to set up a date to meet them. That's what you would do, right? If you found out that you got some cousin that lived over in New York, and you live in Jersey City, of course, it's not convenient to see him on any random day. But my gosh, you do find some time to go visit your family on Sunday. You know, you find out that your dad's brother is living. You know, he's 3 trains away. It's very inconvenient in the city of New York and Jersey to take 3 trains on the bus to somewhere.
Right.
But if it's your family, then you make it your obligation. Now, if you don't think like this, then the truth is going to squander, and it will be your fault and whoever else's fault, and my fault and your fault. If we don't treat this like how Christ said it, the family will fall and will just be employees for the oppressor forever. Unless we do what Zephaniah said by the mouth of the Most High, to gather together, just like you would with your family. All right? Okay? So you got a job, you got slavery, right? All throughout the year, you find that Thanksgiving and you go over there. You don't care what time you got off work last night. Your family don't want to hear that you wasn't able to make it. They disband from you. If you don't make it, straight up. Right. They talk about you. And we're gonna talk about you, George. But of course, make it down here, all right? We're not gonna talk about George. We're gonna see what the Ecclesiastes says. Prove a friend. We're gonna prove of Jordan's family. You see what I'm saying? If he's a son of the Most High and lives like a son of the Most High, and he wants to be with his brothers, the other sons of the Most High, which are only found in Isupk. Okay, what does that mean? Does that mean that if you're an Israelite, that you're not a son of the Most High? If you are Israelite and you don't come into the UPK, your life is as a sinner. And Christ will say you are your father, the devil. You know what I'm saying? You are of your father. That's what he said. Right? You're trying to be like these other people. Unless you come in here to be like one of the sons of the Most High. Right. Okay? No problem. Right? In other words,
Also, quick shout out to Austin and Fox for having
hey, big up the Fox for eyes, man. You know what I mean? That brother done came to school and came up, man. You know what I mean? He came in strong. You know what I mean? That was season, man. You know what I mean? God damn right. Okay. I wanted to get the word Shana right here before we get too lost, right? Parai Pharaoh, I believe this is of a foreign origin. We got the name of Jacob. We broke down Jacob. His name is built off of the heel, right? When talking about when you bite a man in his heel, we call that undertaking him. Like when a snake comes to bite you on the heel, right? You fall down and he rises over you. But he's not a predator, you're not a prey. When you was high and he was low. Okay? So this is visual. That's how we are. Right? We rap in similes and stuff like that, right? Good. Okay. Shana. So the root word of Shana is shan, which is why Aisha was expressing shanya, because shan is tooth. Right? Shan is your tooth, and when you get old, you can see on someone's teeth. Right? As a matter of fact, we got the book of Josephus over here, right? I want the part where he talked about that same section you were reading right there. Right? It's gonna be in a part that says the antiquity of the Jews. Okay. I think there's something that talks about the alignment of his face. Let me see if I can just find it. I might not be able to find it. I took too many notes. So I'm scrolling through things. I don't even know what they even say if I scroll too fast. Okay, here's Moses. Okay. Moses made war with the Ethiopians. Moses made war with the Ethiopians. Israelites are not Ethiopians, all right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Jacob came to know by his son's attorney in one state Joseph was a death, for he was
the lining of his face.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a chapter and a verse for you right now. Being afraid that after this day in Egypt might tempt his prosperity to fall in love. Okay. Appointed Mesopotamia, Egypt, Pharaoh. Asked him how old he was. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is paragraph 6 of chapter 7, book 1, chapter 7, paragraph 6. That's how the book of Josephus is. It goes by books. Books is essentially, like I say, a segment of a period of time, right? And then it breaks down the chapter. So we're looking for chapter 7, paragraph 6 of the death of Jacob and Joseph.
See in paragraph 6 and chapter 7.
What book you in? Are you near the beginning? In the beginning, it might be talking about the Maccabees and the New Testament. You wanna go to the section that says that this is the antiquity of the Jews. Wait a second.
Oh, the Bible, the next book. Yeah, Abraham. This is after Abraham. So there's the coding right here. That's 2 in the book. The chapter.
When how Joseph, when he was become famous in Egypt, he had his brothers in subjection.
Okay.
I didn't put God.
Paragraph 6 is when Jacob was come to the king and saluted him and wished all prosperity to his government, Pharaoh asked him how old he now was. Upon whose answer that he was 130 years old, he admired Jacob on account of the length of his life.
Right. So Jacob was 130 years old. You know what I mean? Now, of course, the book of Josephus is not the Bible. It's a history book, right? And out of all sources out there, right, besides the Bible, right, in a non-biblical fashion, this is one of the more reliable sources of non-biblical history books concerning the Israelites. All right, being that it was made in a time that was more closer to that time. All right. Is there any more on that part there? That's not the part that I wanted.
And when he had added that still he had not lived so long as his forefathers, he gave him leave to live.
Jacob said he's 130 years old, but he ain't lived as long as his forefathers. So meaning he's talking about when we used to live 700 to 800 years old. I mean, that's to give you insight. You see what I'm saying? Of what we could get back. If you come and visit your brothers in Harlem, but if you stay in Jersey City, then you're gonna die at 80. Or depending on your addiction, 65, 55. You know what I mean? God. Right? We have to stay aware of what the goal is to serve the Most High. And he will reward us with the blessings of serving him. Okay? Keep going.
He gave him leave to live with his children in Heliopolis, for in that city the king's shepherds had their pasture.
Okay. The word Shana is year. Right? Shan is 2. Shana is year. Okay? And then of course, Ashayal was bringing out the other one, Shana Yum, or Shan Yum, right, to say years, right? Even in this sense right here, that Yah is probably to say my day, my year, because he's talking about himself, right? Or I might be wrong. Nope, that's a car right there. Okay. So they wrote the Yah as Yum. This could be based on their dialect. I'm not sure, but you see stuff like this where it's in plural sense, but the ma is not there. You know what I mean? That's standards for the Yum Yum. The Yum Yum is days, always like that. I've never seen Yum. Have you seen Yum Yum recently in the Sabbath service? Or you just see Yum Yum for days? Yum Yum. Okay, so that's standard for days, and it might be a format for the years, but we are still children coming up in the school year. You know what I mean? So of course, with more experience, maybe the Lord will give us more understanding. But I don't have a reason why it does it like that. Straight up, don't. All right. But we can recognize that this is the plural form here. Singular form, it would have said Shana, like all the other ones do. All right.
It's up there in this one.
Say it again.
It's Shana.
I saw you say it a while ago. Okay, this is right here. Okay, got it. So that's why he pointed right here. It's kind of small though. Let's see. Can you see it on the? Well, you got good eye. Right? I saw y'all have been eating his carrots. So, man, I gotta think about the cats that don't eat no veggies. All they eat is cheeseburger and fries every day. You know what I mean?
That's why we're broadcasting in high definition.
720p, man. You know what I mean? God. All right. Yes. You want water? You want to help him out? Bubble shot. I appreciate that. Bubble shot. Okay. Also, that barak right there. That barak, which means bless. Initially, from what I found out, right? I'm only going to give you alternative words for this, being very familiar with the word. It's in our salute. How about Shimon Barak Athar, right? That barak initially was your knee. See what I'm saying? Someone come to bless you. We're an Israelite, he's a heathen. We were born to be the lords of the earth. How would they come and bless you and worship you? They get down on their knees when you come. See what I'm saying? Okay. Okay. Good. Oh, let me see if there's any words up here. How much time we got there, Shaw?
It's 8:51.
8:51. Okay, so we got 10 minutes, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Ma the war. What's Ma the war again? Lashawan 30.
I think that was the pilgrimage.
That was the pilgrimage. Magar is stranger, right? Magawar is per se. This is us being strange. We strangering around here, right? Pilgrimage, right?
Count.
Okay, good. So let me get the root word of that. Gar, Gar. Gar is the initial root to say stranger, right? It's not. I know some people, especially if you came from if you studied with fake Israelite groups, they would just know Goya. Goya is stranger as in someone else outside of your nation. Gar is a stranger within your nation. All right. Gar is a stranger. Stranger. What does stranger mean? The word strange means this is someone who you're unfamiliar with. You don't know what this thing is. You don't know who he is. Right? He's a stranger. I don't know if I can trust him. I don't know him. But if he's an Israelite, he's supposed to be raised like one of our families, supposed to be. So we have laws to bring him in. And then Christ will double down on that. Christ says, if you see an Israelite who does that, give me that scripture first before people think I'm making things up. Second John, verse 10. Okay. Now, little right, okay. We got a lapanya right there. We get that lapanya right there.
Second John verse 10.
2 John verse 10, yeah.
Oh God. There come any unto you and bring not this doctrine.
Now, he's talking about Israelites. Because of course we got laws for Israelites to how to treat them. Now, if you're like the people in the ISUPK, you're kind and giving. But we are like sheep, and there are other Israelites raised like the wolves out there, the oppressor. You see what I'm saying? Raised to sell drugs to your family and molest their kids and and sleep with your wife and steal the things out of your house. So Christ is saying, you see an Israelite who don't bring this doctrine, didn't learn from the ISUPK, you gotta be careful. That's the thing that Jeremiah Hyman always talks about in class, how we're trusting the strangers and why we need him, because Jeremiah Hyman is not so trusting like me and Aisha Yala. Well, not Aisha Yala, but me. Aisha Yala is a hardcore brother, you know what I mean? I'm trusted. Give him everything, and next thing you know, he runs off with my phone, and I ask, where's Aisha Yala? I get a report from Lashawan. He chased this guy down the street. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So read the part again.
Oh God. If there come any unto you,
If there come an Israelite unto you, here comes the Israelite. Is he in the ISUPK? No. Read.
and bring not this doctrine,
Right. He comes with the doctrine of IUIC. What is IUIC famous for? They're famous for sleeping with transsexuals and having laying down with another man's wife. They are famous for that. What my point is, you want to say something?
Oh, no.
God. You just see something going across the screen. God. You know what I mean? Read it again.
oh God. There come any unto you, and bring not this doctrine,
But Israel comes on to you, but he don't bring this doctrine. Read.
receive him not into your house.
Don't bring him into your personal place. It's for your safety. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who. You don't know what kind of guy. In our house, we got children. You ever heard of GMS? They believe in raping. Rape. Little girls. They believe that. They believe that. You see what I'm saying? That's the doctrine that they believe in. Now, would you bring someone like that around your kids? You see what I'm saying? I got a daughter. I got 12 years old. She's 12 years old. Their belief is, if she's 12, so what does that mean? You can never ever see my daughter. If you come near my daughter, I gotta be standing nearby with a sword. We got swords, right? We got I'm like, yeah, here's welcome, man. You want some water? Okay, but you can't stay here though. We'll give you a cup of water, you can leave. But we're an Israelite. But Christ said, read it again.
Oh God. If there come any unto you, and bring not this doctrine,
But you're creating division, brother. That's division. Read.
receive him not into your house.
That's not unity amongst the 12 tribes. It says we got to gather together. Read it again.
If there come any unto you, and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house.
Yeah, a man don't want to come here. He's coming here to be washed off the world. You see what I'm saying? If he's not washed off the world, then we don't know what he might do. As we've all heard of many bad things happen from within these other Israelite communities, all right? Good. That's we're done with that, right?
Last, there's another line.
Another line. Okay, you want to read it? Go ahead.
Neither bid him Godspeed.
Neither pray for him. If you gonna bless him, then the Lord's gonna test him and he's gonna account for you trying to bless him. Like you got something familiar with this person. Like he's a weed smoker and you stop being a weed smoker, but maybe you still love weed. So you pray for this weed smoker because you're into weed. So don't bid him Godspeed, because then the Lord gonna put that punishment. You know what I mean? Something going on. There's a connection between you and him. That's what Christ is saying. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
So practical, because whatever.
Say it again.
That's so practical.
That's the what?
Practical.
That's practical. This is not magic. This is not, well, we have faith, so no. This is, Christ is getting down with physical things. You see what I'm saying? How to live in real life. Go ahead.
Because whatever differences they have in their doctrine is going to lead to a difference in the way they act and the way they conduct themselves, what they think is acceptable. And that's the reason that's in it. That's the reason that we're supposed to keep a division between anybody that brings a different God.
God. Now, of course, with that being said, Christ also taught that we're to go out and make friends. See what I'm saying? When you make friends, and in Christ came, like I said, you cannot be unequally yoked with unbelievers, meaning the poor. You have to be, Jeremiah Crystal's on this all the time. You have to be pulling on them. They can't be pulling on you. Someone trying to put it on you, then they're gonna pull you into getting high on what are you using nowadays? LSD, angel dust, horse tranquilizer. Good, not the trank. Oh man, heard about that in Kensington, Philadelphia. You see what I'm saying? You gotta be pulling on them. You pulling on them, you influencing them to get off of that, and then they'll make their fight to get off of that. But if you're not fighting, and they are fighting to drag you, they're gonna say, "Yo, you gotta try this. You gotta try this." Or you tell them, "Nah, you gotta try this. You gotta try this. Clean yourself up and wash yourself off the world." Right? This is very practical. Right? Any more there? Okay, no sweat. Good. Right? I want that scripture where it said to go out and yeah.
Can I just get a breakdown of what does Godspeed mean?
Godspeed. Let's get a dictionary. Right? Let's get the Zondervan's. The Zondervan's, the big one. Okay. Got that one? See what it says in there. Okay. I got on the board pan. This pan is from this one right here. This lapanya right here always comes up. I wrote it right here in English for anybody new, right? Lapanya, right? This is the phrase to say before me. Right? Before me. Before me or before. Right? Sometimes it'll come up as before. It became the word for before the panya, even though it's still going to maintain the ya on there because it became our culture to say, right? Well, that before me or before is to say to my face, because to my face is in front of me or in the fore of me. Okay? If you want to say it in front of him, you say the panya wa. It's still. The culture says they still keep the ya in there. So I don't want to act like we're just going to go by the rules of Hebrew and ignore the culture of what was spoken. We have to go by the culture. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, if you come to New York and they're talking about the sneakers is hot, they're hot fire, you can't be trying to put on a thermometer and say, "Oh, I don't want to touch it because it's hot." Right? You have to understand the lingo. You see, you got to understand the culture. All right. So lapanya is very common. You're gonna see this everywhere. You're gonna see it in the prayers. You're gonna see it in the Sabbath service. Anything you read in Hebrew, where something is in front of something, lapanya. You put the chair in front of the stage. The in front is gonna be lapanya. All right. Lapanya. La is two. Pan is space. Ya is mine. Right.
The Greek word behind Godspeed, the way it breaks it down, is means to rejoice.
That's not okay. Godspeed is you pray for someone, and there's angels doing things at the speed of God in your request. You see what I'm saying? You say, "I want the Lord to bless this man," and there's an angel that goes somewhere way off into the galaxy somewhere, and he delivers the message to the Most High, and the Most High gives him a command to go bless that person that you said, and they come back faster than any spaceship that the oppressor could orchestrate or make, and he comes and does things in the earth that we don't understand at a speed that you don't understand. All right, just think of it like that, right? Bid him not Godspeed. Don't let him get with this power and ability, right? Just don't let him get into this system. All right. And Christ goes on even more. I believe it was Christ or somewhere in the scriptures where he talks about if you marry a whore, a 304, right? You join the whore onto the body. You don't want to join a whore onto the body, because then she's gonna try to give tail to everybody in here and corrupt everybody in here. You bid someone Godspeed, you bless some brother Other brothers gonna think, oh wow, he blessed him. Well, command you down with him. Let's bring him to our house. That's the precept. Don't bring him into your house. You see what I'm saying? You don't be trusting of this guy. You know what I mean? Someone salute in Hebrew, salute him back in Hebrew. You see what I'm saying? Don't be getting down with him like he's him. See what I'm saying? I saw y'all in there being washed and raised by Command Johanna. He's a different guy than the guy you gonna walk past on the street. All right? Okay? You want to bless him. Give him authority. You give him authority, he's gonna steal all the city money, run off, and leave you poor on crack. And he's gonna get empowered. He's gonna be the mayor. I'm not saying this is Eric Adams. Right. But I'm saying you give an Israelite who's not of the Most High Christ in the Isupk, right? He's gonna have somebody delivering keys of cocaine. He's not gonna touch it, but he's gonna be on a phone call telling people what to do with it so he can get money for a fat house in Jersey. Right. Not Jersey City, not you, George. I'm looking at you, right? But this is how people get down if they're not in. If Christians get down like this. Don't think of a Christian. You don't bless a Christian. If you bless a Christian, he's gonna be Christian to get hurt by the Most High, so you can see, okay, where is the Lord really working? If it's not in church. You see what I'm saying? You understand? Yeah. Good. What else? Is that it? Any more questions online? No, but nothing, man. Good. It's the end of class.
Sister says shalom.
Shalom. Sis, what's her name?
Ashley.
Big up Ashley what?
Ashley Crosby.
Big up Ashley Crosby. I never heard of your name before. The school is growing. Most High in Christ. You know what I mean? Pass it up.
You say you want this group to Christ say, go out and teach.
Christ said, it might be Matthew 4. The part where it says, what so better than the publicans are you, who only deal with themselves? The mission of this thing is to go out and build the family. Now here are the eligible family members. These are the eligible family members. If you don't, sit down. No, go face the wall by that door right there, with that black curtain. Go face the wall over there. Or face the door. Face the door. Right? If you don't recruit these families, they go and love Arabs. They go become the Arabs family member. And the Arabs ain't gonna love them. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna go join in some church with some person. They're gonna be their family member. They're gonna love them and live and be unalived for them. And join into the family of the United States government and love the United States government and go on the front lines and be unalived for the sake of the American government, when the American government just wants to go and steal some oil from somewhere. They just want to steal oil from, Bahrain or Baghdad or, They become pawns, when they can come in here and live life with true family members. See what I'm saying? No problem. Okay. I'll look it up. Right. Is anybody able to find it?
Yeah, one on Republicans.
Yeah.
Matthew 5:46.
There we go. Read that one right there.
Matthew 5:46. For if you love them which love you,
if you love them which love you, as we love each other here. Keep reading.
What reward have you?
Meaning, if we just love each other here, and we just stay here, me, Aisha Yala, Shafwa, Mpataza, Shala Yala, Karab, come on, Kawak, Captain Kataza, Captain Zakar, Captain Zaryak, Captain Shemawala, Captain Zakar, right? If we just stay here and we just practice that, we stay here, Sha'ar, then how different are we than the brotherhood of the police? Because they're not recruiting, but they are. Damn. Damn, they doing better than us? That's a shame. That's a shame. They doing better than us. Keep reading.
Do not even the publicans the same?
Keep reading.
And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so?
Come on, read the part again.
And if you salute your brethren only,
if you only salute your brethren only, you only show kindness to your brothers only. Keep reading.
What do ye more than others?
Keep reading.
Do not even the publicans so?
Keep reading.
Be therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
Right, and then he goes up to say, be ye perfect, meaning be better than them. Be better than the people that say they are the example of good in New York City. Right, the NYPD. Be better than them. You see what I'm saying? You know what you do? Recruit them. Recruit them, recruit the people in the hospital, recruit the people in the fire station, in the mail, the post office, recruit all of them and bring them into here. And much less if they come here not by our doctrine, they're not being absorbed into us, and they want to absorb you to them. Don't bring them into your house. Be dangerous. Right? You end up on Fox 5. All right, good. Any more questions? Because we gotta get out of here, right? I wanted some more Hebrew, but I ain't getting none. Big up Shrat Zahala. Shrat Long Christ, Shrat Zahala. Big up to you, all right? Big up to the brother in the prison department also, all right? Okay? Right? Is that it? Good. No, there gotta be something. What was you talking about this week?
This week?
Yeah. Yeah, no, let's end it. Let's end it, right? I was that by the class of priest and officer of 550. I saw y'all.
I give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel. I imagine Shabbat. I imagine Barak.
Yahweh Yahweh
Yaz Mitzah. Class dismissed.